Yes, YouTube Danester back. It's going to be a long video, I think, so you might want to go drink, get your dinner, get a sandwich, get whatever, bring your packed lunch. Lots of pickups to do. A few that I got from before Revival, quite a few that I got at Revival, including a very nice system that's added. I obviously want to talk about Revival that was the weekend that just was. And we'll just have a little chat about other things as well, see what's going on. Obviously, it's already been announced. I'm joint winner of last month's, whatever, YouTuber of the month. 5 channels have been put forward. There is Garage Gamers, Liverpool Gamer, Retro Games Collector. The two I'm thinking, and 3 of them I helped pick. So Gruss Newton and Lee at, I was going to say Retro Gamer Addict. He's not Retro Gamer Addict. He's You've Been Gamed. So please go over, vote for whoever you want to win. Go and check out the content if you're not familiar with the channels. And please, 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 let's not have the farce that we had with the voting last month. Because the guys at Gaming Off the Grid are doing a good job. I'm going to try and swear as little as possible in this video. Mainly because I want to talk about Revival and I want anyone who attended Revival, young and old, to be able to watch this video. I'm not promising anything though, because I could quite easily start swearing. So Revival, it was in Wednesbury, Danester, that sort of way, at the 5-star community centre. Smaller venue than the Bescott. It was on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was sold out. Sunday wasn't quite, but was still very busy. I arrived there at 9 o'clock on Friday. Basically a couple of days before a post had gone out to say Craig Turner, who runs Revival, was possibly not going to be there because he's not been well and he was in hospital all weekend actually. So speedy recovery to Craig. In fact, I saw Craig since the event and hopefully he's on the mend. So I told Aaron, who'd been put in charge, who'd done a great job standing in. You know, I wasn't surprised when he did a great job. In fact, the whole Revival team, having been a vendor at all their events for the past few years, I just knew the team would pull together and do a stellar job, which they did. I'll try and remember names as and when I get to them. But I just said to Aaron, I said, look, I'm not technically gifted, but I can lug and maul stuff. So if you want a hand doing that, I'm more than happy to do so. So basically, I got there at 9. Aaron arrived with the first delivery of the wagon. And there was Mike, who I know from Revival. He does podcasts. He knows my friend Ben, who I mentioned in a previous video when I did the shout-outs via podcast. There was Blake, who I've probably known above 10 years. We used to play in the same darts team before we even knew that we were both into retro gaming, so we'd known each other since before then. And it was basically a case of just getting the room moved from being a social club into set up for vendors like myself, set up for the computers and the arcade cabs and the pinball machines. So it was just a case of lugging and mauling. Vinny turned up as well. We were doing 2 people to an arcade cab setting up. But it went quite smoothly, to be honest. I think I stayed till about 5, half 5, and when they said, look, there's nothing else you need to do, because I'd got my stall set up, 99.9% of the stuff was in. People like Duncan Woody, as everyone knows him, Woody, Dunk, he was setting up computers. He's good enough to bring his own computers. Spence was setting up his computers. The guys from Swag were setting up theirs. So it was all technical stuff, running the cables and stuff like that, stuff that I'm not prepared to get involved in. But if you need a bit of brute strength, then I'm pretty useful at that. And I'm glad I did go early. Well, I'd have seen this anyway before anyone opened, because I'd have had a wander around. But one of my pickups I bought before Revival was even open, because I saw it on the store and I wasn't missing out this time. I made sure I got it. So Revival onto the Saturday. I arrived there 8:30. There was still a few little bits to be sorted. Obviously checking all the computers and the consoles booted up once it was all set up. And it was a really good, busy day. I mean, I'm going to try and list people who I saw. I want to shout out Rob, who's everyone's friend, not just mine and Stu's. Massive thanks, mate, for helping out with the store. I literally probably couldn't have done Saturday without your help, mate, so it's massively appreciated, thank you. Stu was there too, UK. He was there early doors. I give Jay Cyber Snake 7. He got a lift there with myself. Beck, of course, Craig's wife, she was making sure it was all organised and that everything was running smoothly. She was on the door as always. Who else was there? There was obviously Ant Harper running his store, Retro Gear, not Retro Games Collector, that's his YouTube. Sore Thumbs, the regulars. If you've watched my walk round video, which will have been out before there, you'll see all the vendors. Pete Old School Variety Face, Big Mike from Without Further Ado Retro, obviously there they'd been having a curry and a few beers the night before. They weren't the freshest. I don't mean smell, I mean they just weren't the freshest. In fact, Pete stayed out drinking a lot later than he usually does, which massively surprised me. Marcus, who obviously gives Mike a lift up, I actually caught him on my footage playing on one of the candy cabs. So I'd say he's not really into gaming, he seemed to enjoying himself. Sega Saturn lad was there with his young lad. They gave Scott Brown, Sega Zombie, a lift up, which massively thank you to everyone who helped Scott out over the weekend. I helped sort him a ticket. Sega Saturn lad got him there, and Mark Burnt Out Culture, who was there, he put him up for the night, so that was great. I ended up crashing in Stu's room at the hotel. I'm trying not to forget anyone. I met a YouTuber for the first time who Rob introduced me to. He doesn't do YouTube anymore, but he's promised me he's going to start doing it again, and that's Darth Steve. I met him on the Saturday, we had a good chat, and he also came on the Sunday, we were having a good chat. He says he sees me at the booters, and when he sees me, he walks the other way because he thinks there's no games there. One, don't be so rude. See, I'm doing well, I didn't swear there. Don't be so rude, say hello. And two, I miss loads of stuff, so I'd go back and double check if I was you, Steve, mate. And I'm just trying to think there. Retro Tech 100 was there, videoing Kieran. He's put up some great videos on the Vectrex stuff. He's obviously done a walk round. And if I forgot you, I'm sorry, but I did drink copious amounts of alcohol during the day of Revival, and I thank anyone who got me a beer. That was massively appreciated. Eddie and Dylan, how can I forget Eddie and Dylan were there? And I'd like to think that's it. Afterwards, we went into Wolverhampton Town, but we did have a few beers at the Beefeater that was next to the Premier Inn. That was me, Stu, Scott Brand, my mate Liam turned up. Rob, Old School, Mark, and we drunk in, and then we went into Wolverhampton to the early hours of the morning, and then I crashed at Stu's. It was a good night, fair few beers, I drank a lot of cider, a lot of cocktails, but I was surprisingly fresh for Sunday morning's Revival, which a little bit slower starting. I think there was a little bit of confusion because they opened a little bit earlier than they'd advertised on the Facebook page, purely because we were shutting earlier to get the breakdown done. But once everyone started coming in about 10:30, it was busy again. And as I say, it just went really, really well. I mean, I stayed after the event to help clear away again. I was clearing my table away, folding down other people's tables. We got the first lot of the 7-ton truck, I think it was, that Aaron was driving. He went and dropped off some of the cabs first, the Daytonas and stuff like that. Then I went home, had my dinner, and I said, look, I'll come back, I'll help you with the cabs. And when I come back, lo and behold, Craig Turner was there. He missed the whole event, but at least he seemed to be okay. He seemed to be on the mend. We had a good chat. We was all sat around. It was nice, actually. There's a load of us just sat down, chewing the fat, talking about retro games, talking about events, and it was cool. Craig then went, because obviously, you know, he's not going to be moving cabs around. He's not been well. And I just said, look, I'll stay till it's done. And I think about 9:30, we got the last, on Sunday night, we got the last lot of cabs on, including an extra one, because I'm not going to spoil what he purchased, but Mr. Turner purchased another cab, and we just about got it on the van. And then Aaron obviously went and unloaded the next day. So I got a little bit of an inside look at what it's like for when they put these events on. Now, I will say, it is a lot of work. You know, you need a lot of willing bodies, a lot of strong people to shift stuff around. And this was just a small event that was all on one level. Now, the best, Scott, when you got to go up and down in lifts, it shows what effort they put in to get these events on. And everything always seems to run well to me as a trader. I obviously never normally see behind the scenes any little problems or anything, etc. And obviously the punters see even less than that. But I will say hats off to everyone on the Revival team, everyone who helped out. And, you know, I think everything went really well. And I'm glad I got that look of what it's like for them to put an event on for us. I mean, including myself. I like to go on Be There Most Day Fridays anyway. Normally I'm just looking at my own store because it's my chance to get a little bit of gaming in, because obviously during the day I don't get much chance when the event's running. So by all accounts, everyone had a great time. Again, I can't say thank you to the team and Craig enough. And we get to do it all again in November, and I'm sure it'll be just as well. I mean, we know what the venue's like now, so everyone should know a little bit more what to expect and how to set it up. But everything was brilliant. Everyone seemed happy. There was a buzzing vibe about the place that I only seem to get at Revival. I mean, I enjoy my other events, but I don't know if it's the mixture of the traders being mixed in with people playing games. There's just that little vibe about it. So that's all I've got to say about Revival. Check out anyone's videos who's got stuff on Revival. Please have a look at everyone's walk around. Get yourself a feel for the event. And then get your tickets booked for November. Don't leave it last minute, and see if Dane can sort you out, because I can't promise it next time. So that's that. That's Revival covered. That one's in the book. And we go on to our next events. I don't think there's many on through the summer. I might be wrong, but I think Nottingham might be my next gaming event they'll sell at. But anyway, we're going to go on to my pickups. So before Revival, I'd agreed to do a deal with Basabi James. I can't keep just calling him Basabi James. His logo's going to be here for his eBay shop. Please check it out. If you know James personally, you can probably get in touch with him, because I don't buy off his eBay shop, if that makes sense, because I'm after certain items, and James is brilliant at finding these items, and the condition he sends me stuff in is unreal. Now, I got a lot of my Famicom collection from James, so when I'm after a certain game, he's my go-to guy, and he's brilliant. The only trouble is I'm usually asleep when he's awake, and he's usually awake when I'm asleep, although that wasn't the case Saturday, because I sent him some lovely pictures of us out when we were out on Saturday, because he knows Stu and Rob. He's known them a lot longer than he's known me. But anyway, I digress. He does me a great deal. Anyway, this Famicom game I wanted, very sought after. I love the cartoon back in the 90s. One of the best cartoon themes, I think. Not ever, but it's certainly one of the better ones in the 90s. Very funny. If I was to go on Mastermind, cartoon themes would probably be my specialist subject. And at that, it is Samurai Pizza Cats. Now, this is quite an expensive game, and there's only about 4 or 5 on eBay. So I was expecting it to take a while for James to source this, and he literally found me within 2 days. In fact, someone asked me, who was it who asked me? It was Eddie, to ask me, is it a genuine game that was released back in the day, or is it something that's been done? But as you can see from that, that's got quite a bit of age to it. But it's in lovely condition. So that's Samurai Pizza Cats on the Famicom. And the other thing I had mentioned in previous videos, I was going to ask him to get, and he sourced me one, and that's in superb condition as well. And that is a Japanese Mega Drive Mini. I'm not going to get it out. It looks very much exactly the same, other than it's got the different colour. But it's also got a fair few different games. Probably not going to get it to focus because there's that many different images. But again, you know, this is in stellar condition. It was with me within a week. I pretty much think of James sending it. And again, thank you, James. Again, go and check out his eBay shop. Or if you know him, drop him a message. If you're into Japanese import stuff, he is the guy to go to. If you're not at events, so, you know, if you're after certain stuff, he's the man to go to. Now, on to my next lot of pickups. Basically, I think it was Tuesday evening, I noticed an advert. Well, I was told about an advert. Someone who I knew was advertising that they were getting rid of empty games boxes, basically. So that's he got everything. It was Matt Dawson, a guy who used to run events in Cannock. Basically, he was moving within 3 days, and all these empty boxes that he'd been keeping, because he does events, he keeps all his games loose, he needed to get rid of. So I messaged Matt and went, look, I'll get them. but I needed to get them all in one go. So Thursday evening I went to his house, and literally I had that much space in the window of my Qashqai to look out of on the way back. It was quite dangerous, but it wouldn't be this channel if it wasn't dangerous. And it was full of PS2. I've got hundreds of PS2 boxes, a lot of PS1, a lot of Xbox 360. There's a few PS4, a few PS3. There was some Saturn, Dreamcast. In fact, I've got some here. That's just the Master System and Mega Drive stuff that's there that I'm going through and sorting. Obviously, I'm going to try and either... In fact, if anyone's got any loose discs they want rid of, send me a list on Facebook or something if there's any I need, or if you need any manuals or a case for some of your games, we can come to some sort of trade deal. The loose carts, I'm going to use CEX credit and just source them all, so I've got some more stock for my event. It's a good way. He got boxes as well, empty console boxes. I know there was a PS2 box, there's a Wii box, and there's a NES box. They're all in my shed. I gave some to Jace, some of the newer consoles. And obviously I've already managed to pair some stuff up thanks to Stu and Rob, who've donated me some discs. I will be sorting them out, a few beers each, which is a good way to renew my stock, to be honest. So the two games I've put together so far are Super Thunderblade and Crackdown. So basically I'd already got these cases. I got these cases from Matt. I then went to Revival and I was buying loose games that people had got as part of my deal. So there was a few loose games. In fact, there might be a few more behind me, but that's just stock. We don't need to talk about. So that was just that little story. So if anyone needs any cases or you're after a manual, drop me a message. Don't do it in the comments here. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. But if I've got to search through these comments, you're a million, because I'm massively behind with comments as well. I want to say sorry about that. Basically, with helping out with Revival, I've just been watching videos and then forgetting to comment, so I'm trying to go back and reply to people as well. I had 4 little pickups just before Revival because I was up late on eBay, and these were all under £10 each. It wouldn't be the channel lately if I didn't pick up a Japanese Mega Drive game. So that's Dick Tracy. I think that cost about £7 or £8. Let me see. No manual, but I'm not bothered about the manual sometimes, especially with the Japanese games. It's just something I want to play. Dr. Mario was about £7. I'd already got it cart only, but I sold the cart for £5 at Revival, so that essentially cost me £2, you know. And it's got all the polystyrene in the bottom. In fact, the boxes in general aren't too bad. If I want to put them in protectors, they'll look great. This one I never owned, which is Terminator Judgment Day. I used to have it on the Game Boy, but I think it's a completely different game over on the NES. The other one, my cart was horrible. In fact, I sold the cart for £10. I think I bought this one for £11. At Shadow Warriors, Ninja Gaiden. Again, that side probably needs a little bit of an iron. In fact, I've just watched Stu's video where he ironed his fake copy of Sunset Rider, so I might give Ninja Gaiden a little bit of an iron to get the creases out. So again, I don't like spending a lot on eBay, but they were so cheap that I thought, why not? So when I got to Revival, as I said, I was there early, and there was this one item that I saw and I was like, oh, I really want to get that. I'm just moving some stuff so I can get to it. And I didn't buy it on the Friday night. I bought it very first thing Saturday morning when I got in, because I'd spoke to a couple of people. They were Stu, Rob, and they were saying, what are you even thinking about? Just get the job done. Just get what you want. And at that, I sorted out some of my funds that were from Doncaster, where I was going to buy an item and I didn't buy it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I got this for a little bit cheaper. So that's where my funds from Doncaster goes into buying stuff. And we got ourselves a lovely Vectrex. Now, I have cleaned it up because it was quite dirty. This was from Nick at Vintage Gamer. The controller, there was a story about the controller. I've cleaned it up. It was quite dirty. You can see a few creases on the label. That's because I took it apart, because buttons number 3 and 4 were really intermittent. But I've took it all apart, cleaned it up with some rubbing alcohol and WD-40. The buttons are superb now. So I picked that up. I can't pick up the controller right. I'm not going to turn it on, but it runs lovely now and it's beautiful, and it was something that I regretted not getting at Doncaster, so there was no way at Revival when I saw one that I wasn't going to get it. Now, if you see the walk around at Revival, or anyone's walk around, there was actually 3 Vectrex set up with the UV overlays and the lights at the front. That is massively something that I'm looking to get into. I've also been told I might be getting a multi-cart as well, which I won't spoil that till it's part of my pickups, but the person donating that, thank you very much. I massively appreciate it. I'm going to try and source us both some cases because it's just the motherboard, so I'm going to try and source some cases to put in. Nick at Vintage Gamer had only got 1 game for the Vectrex. It's obviously got, I want to say Minesweep, but I think it's Mindstorm that's built in. And the other game he got was Flipper Pinball, which actually, now the buttons are cleaned up on here, does play really well. I need to just get that little bit of label off there. So I bought that should have been £10, but I bought a lot of loose carts off Nick and we come to a really good deal. So I've got some carts to put in my cases that I'll sell on because they're doubles. So whatever I paid for this, I'll be paying even less when I sell them, if that makes sense. And when I said I was picking it up, the person, one of the people who convinced me to get it, kindly said he got a double and I could have it, and that's Rob. I can't thank Rob enough. He helped with my store and he's gave me 2 gifts. I'm going to show the one now, and that's Bedlam. And it was great because when Rob was helping me out of the store, because I'd paid a percentage of this and I'd got to pay some more, and once I'd took enough I sent Rob to pay it and we got the Vectrex set up. I was a little bit disappointed when the buttons weren't working right, and I think Rob could tell. He was going, nah, you'll clean it up. And I'm so glad you convinced me of that, because I was thinking of going to Nick going, you know what, this isn't working how I want it to be. But with a little bit of searching on YouTube, you can find out everything. The controllers are actually really easy to take apart. If that label offends me too much, I'm sure I can get a replacement decal anyway. But Rob gave me Bedlam and we were playing the games. In fact, there was one point where me and Rob were playing the games on the Vectrex and everyone who was at my store was watching me play it. So there was no work being done. I wasn't serving any customers and customers weren't buying anything. So we were just, everyone was like going, is that for sale? I was like, no man, I bought that for myself. So the only Vectrex that was for sale at Revival got bought by me. And I'm so glad I did. Then Scott Brand come wandering over to my store. And I just said to him, I said, oh, I've bought a Vectrex. I was excited to see Scott because we know that Scott had a rough time and it was really good to see Scott. It was good to go out with Scott. It was good to see him enjoy himself. I think he enjoyed himself. I asked him if he did. And it was just brilliant to chew the fat, have a few beers. And he'd come to my store a few times a day. In fact, I sold him 2 things. And I felt fucking bad about it because he gifted me this. So I refunded him because I was being a dick. I was thinking more like I'm running a store than I'm here for my mates. And I refunded Scott that because he gave me this. And I'm massively thankful. And that is Starship. I'm not going to spoil what Scott had off my store. This is complete, obviously, with the cart. Otherwise, it would be no fucking good to me. Then again, I like fucking empty box. Ah, I've done it. I've swore. I was trying so good. I'm still going to let everyone watch this. And it's got the overlay. So this is the only overlay I've got. But I'm looking to get the UV ones. And obviously the multi-cart and stuff like that. So thank you, Scott. And obviously, thank you for sending me my PayPal, your PayPal, so I can make everything right and refund you that. So I've got 3 games for the Vectrex, 4 including the one built in, and hopefully a multi-cart on the way. So that's something I'm absolutely buzzing about to have in the games room. I need to find a designated spot for it. We might need to get a little table in the room for it. But I'm so happy about that. Rob gave me 3 gifts. Rob, I'm so glad you sold so much of your stuff on my store because I don't feel as bad about these gifts that you go now. Gave me Dragon's Quest 3, I believe it is. See if we can get to focus. It wants to look on my handsome face. Yeah, so Dragon's Quest 3. I'm probably going to need to read it, so I'm probably not going to play it, but it will go in my Famicom collection. In fact, there's something else. I could run downstairs and fetch it, but instead, I'll just insert 2 pictures here. Rob and Stu actually got me a joint gift, and I'll put the pictures here so you can all have a little laugh, because it was to do with me winning YouTuber of the Month, and I'm more than happy to join in and wear that t-shirt all day at Revival. I think it was a little bit of revenge for when I had the Tootie t-shirt. Aaron, as I mentioned, was running Revival. He had his a little stall selling some of his wares. In fact, I think he spent more than what he sold. But he got this, and I used to have number 1 and number 2 as a kid, and it's a Tiger LCD game, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. All works. In fact, I'm probably going to regret turning it on. What a great tune that is. Yeah, we'll turn that off now. So yeah, Aaron had this up for £18 and he sold it to me for £10, which is great, and I appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you, because that'll go up with my Super Mario Bros. Up here, along with the other little handhelds. That I've got the Turtles one up there as well that I used to have as a kid. So I'm literally just trying to get the ones I got as a kid, or the ones that interest me. Now the final gift from Robert. He was selling these on my stall, and they had so much interest, and he does these unique designs, so not everyone's got loads of the same ones, and he'd done this one in it. I think he knew he did it that I'd be interested in. In fact, Rudy really wanted it, but from Blackheart TV, runs Retro Mania on Facebook, but there was no way I was getting rid of this, because whoa, the glare. These are like mirrored marquees, and Rob done me the Midway WrestleMania 1. I'm a massive wrestling fan, as I've said in previous videos. So once something's moved out my games room, in fact I might even put it above my window actually. We know glue dots don't glue them, because we tried to glue a few up at the event and they kept sliding off, but I will find them pull tab things to hold them up. So again, thank you, Rob. I've said thank you so much, because I massively appreciate everything that's given to me and all the help you gave me. I'd got 2 of those marquees left at the end of the day. On Sunday, Rob had left with my stall. He said, look, if you can sell them, sell them. But I knew someone else wanted them, so I've gifted those to someone else. And then that person gifted me something, which he said he meant to gift me when we were at Doncaster, and he forgot all about it and packed it away, because he knows I ask about it. I'm not going to use this either. I've given away what it is in the corner. I just want it to wear. You know, you can't have YouTube domination without wearing the power glove, you know what I mean? So this is from Ant Harper, which featured in one of his videos ages ago. In fact, I wonder if I can put this on and program it to protect me against coronavirus. Sorry about the squeaky polystyrene, because you're right by me mic. I mean, were these designed for kids' hands? Because they fit mine quite well, and I've got quite big hands. What do I say about men with big hands? Big gloves. You know, this is obviously terrible for gaming on. But I just want to... You know, it reminds me of... Remember Inspector Gadget, the claw? That's what it reminds me of. So, you know, I've got it. I might wear it in a few videos. I might even try and game on it. Wonder if I can work out how to do it. I've been told they're probably a load of crap. I mean, it's got all these sensor things and everything, man. I don't even know where I'd set it up, but it's just a cool item that's now in my collection that was once in Ant's. So again, thank you, Mr. Harper, for that. Let's see if we can get it off. So that's all my pickups. I'm not going to do shout outs today. I know I said I wasn't not going to miss it, but I'm that far behind with doing comments and stuff. I've not really... I want the shout outs to be done properly. I don't want to just rush out and shout 2 people out for the sake of it. So what I'll do is next 2 videos, rather than doing 2 shout outs, I'll do 3 shout outs each video. Plus, if there's anyone who you think I should check out and give their channel a shout out, please put that in the comment, because I always go and check anyone out who subscribes to me, and I always check out any recommendations and people who are up for YouTuber of the month, or someone who shouted out in a previous video. I always go and check them out. So that's Revival covered, that's Pickups covered, that's pretty much everything covered. But I want to leave you with a message that was sent to me when it was confirmed that I'd got enough votes to be YouTuber of the month. So you're going to get a little dance from me, and you're going to get some nice oversound, and I'll see you on the next one. So, ta-ra for now.